Hey friends, I'm here for a second to talk about our last two programs of the year, which is crazy to me. That means that we're halfway through summer already, which, depending what state you're in, that means school is just around the corner. Here in Arizona, we still have a couple of weeks, but I want to release our last three teen programs that we'll be offering for this year, for the 2024 year. So if you're new here, welcome to Family Leadership Academy. If you're not new here, welcome back. We're super excited you're a part of this. I again want to jump into some of our summer and our fall things. They're a little different, but first I want to introduce myself for all the new faces because there are so many new people coming in and it's so fun. I'm Beth Hansen, founder of Beth Hansen & Co. and Family Leadership Academy. You're going to hear me talk a lot about a guy named Jared. That's my husband. I'm going to introduce him to you on this next slide. This is our family. Jared and I, we do this program together. He's on the back side of a lot of things. I am more the one that's doing the classes with these teens and with the adults. But just so you know, whenever I say Jared, I'm talking about my guy. All right? Perfect. I'm a wife, mama, homeschooler. This is our crazy family. We are an entrepreneur family. We love to travel. We love to adventure. We are outside as often as possible. We love it, love it, love it. If you come and hang out with us on Instagram or on Facebook, you're gonna see a little bit more of our lifestyle. So if you're curious, come hang out with us there. I have a degree in family and marriage studies. I'm also a certified life coach, which is super fun. And since about 2010, I've been coaching and mentoring teens in sports and just in communities. And for the last 2 years, we've been running this specific program. Oh, you guys, it is so fun and I can't wait to introduce you to it. The main two things that we focus on in this program with our teens are leadership and life skills. Leadership, friends, it's a lifestyle, it's a spiritual gift, it's also a practical skill. And it's the ability for an individual to influence or guide other individuals, teams, entire organizations. Life skills are just those things that help us on the daily. They actually go together very, very, very acutely. So we can't have the program without one or the other. It just doesn't work. Why is leadership so important? Well, here, let me tell you for just a minute. I could be on a soapbox for days for this, but especially for my teens, why is leadership important? Because all types of leadership are really, really, really important. They're all needed. Some leadership is big. Some leadership is more bold. It's more vocal. Some leadership is more quiet. It's reserved or it's action-based. There are so many different ways that leadership really do that they do just present themselves. And within teens, it's so fun to get to see them really step into the space where they're like, wait, I can be a leader. I can lead. I can be an example like this. You guys, in these programs, we're not focused on creating the next president of the United States. That's in God's hands. I'm going to gladly leave that to him. But the skills for life that we're going to work on communication skills. We're going to work on emotional regulation. We're going to work on just really understanding your brain and your body in really simple ways, but very, very powerful ways, and how all of that really plays into your leadership style. You guys, this is really important that teens understand their leadership style and understand this part of them, because teens have this really unique ability to connect and to gather and to grow communities around ideas. So if we want those ideas to be positive and moving the world forward, then we have to help our teens come into this space where they're confident in who they are and they're confident that this is the direction that their Heavenly Father is calling them to go. And you guys, they can really create some pretty darn incredible things. The rising generation really needs to have the confidence in their ability to problem solve and to lead boldly, even when it maybe is scary or maybe when they feel like they're leading alone. Those are things, you guys, that the further we get into this crazy world, the older these teens get, they're going to have to stand on their own 2 feet. And getting to watch them really lean into that confidence and learn how to be powerful in their own way and how to tap into those gifts that are really innately theirs, it is such a fun thing to see. And to watch them do this and buoy each other up in these groups and just help create this community, it is so, so exciting. You guys, there's this myth out there that leadership is just for an adult. And when we get to be an adult, then I'll have to do leadership stuff. But that's not true. Oftentimes, teens are who are leading the family out in different ideas or in new ways. We've seen that for better or worse. Teens are really incredibly powerful and they're very persuasive. And so when it comes to leadership, if we are able to give these teens leadership opportunities, as like young. I love getting to see some of our 11 and 12-year-olds really step into this space of leading, because they learn that leadership, it's not for just when they're grown up. Leadership is something that enables them really powerfully as as a teen, and leadership happens on every level of the family. If we as parents really bring our teens into certain situations and certain decisions and just ask for their opinions, or we ask for just ideas, I think we might be a little bit surprised at what they're able to give and how we can incorporate those in the families. But if our teens don't have the confidence to speak up at home, why would they have the confidence to speak up in a community? So that is something that we really work on. Those relationships at home are, Jared and I, you guys, everything we do comes back to 3 core relationships: your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your Heavenly Father, your relationship with others. Those are really, really important. And building your confidence in being an active participant in each of those relationships. It's really important for the teens to realize that sometimes leadership is leading boldly. Sometimes leadership is learning to be a wise follower. There's a time and a place for both. As adults, that can be really hard to learn. For teens, it is too. But as a community and in these groups, it is so fun to see them really kind of just grow and stretch in these different ways. The last thing that I really want to touch on for a second, why is this so important? Because when you understand who you are and you realize that you have the power to grow into something else or grow through really hard situations, that leads to a more emotionally resilient and self-reliant generation. That is something our society is sorely lacking now as a whole. And if we can give that gift to our children, then they can also, you guys, that's a gift that's generationally really influential. And that doesn't just change your children's lives, but it changes their children's lives and their children's lives. Like, oh, how cool is that? So cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyways, 4 areas of focus. This is where I'm going to share with a little bit. I just want to dive into the program a tiny bit, just so you can see where we focus. There's 4 main areas of health that we focus on. Number 1 is spiritual. 2 is the mental emotional. 3 is physical. 4 is intellectual. You guys, we need all 4 of these to actually be at our optimum health. It's interesting to me when people try to separate different parts of their health, because health as a whole, one thing affects our whole health. They're all intertwined. They're all linked. We can't just be 3 of these things and be at our optimum health. It's not possible. So we really dive into the spiritual, the mental, emotional, the physical, and the intellectual. We talk about those lifestyle habits. We talk about our faith and where we're at. The kids, you guys, when it comes to faith in these groups, it's really powerful to hear these kids talk about their struggles or their ideas or how they're afraid of something and how they have faith in some things. And it is just so unique to see these kids really open up to the idea of like their overall health. It is such an integral part of their life, and their health now can grow and develop. And their health really does, you guys, what you live today is determining the reality that you get to live tomorrow. So watching these kids really dive into this space of like, wait, I don't want this to be my reality in 5 years. I want it to be this. How do we get there? So fun to watch the kids really understand the different parts of their brain, the different parts of their habits, different parts of their faith. So unique. How do we go through the program? We start with mindset. It's a pretty simple space to start, but it's a really powerful space. We go through mindsets, we go through decisions and behaviors, and we map certain things out, and we provide them with these tools that are really powerful. And then when we get into the emotions, you guys as teens, emotions are really big. Developmentally, there's a huge shift that goes from 11 to 25, okay? So as they're developing and as these new emotions are popping up, these tools that they're learning, they get to grow with them. Every single age group that I have coached in this teen, this 11 to really 25-year-old space, for this program we're focusing on 11 to 19, that 18, 19-year-old mark. But for every group that I've coached, it's been interesting to see how they've been able to take these tools and how they've grown with them, and how powerful it is for them to understand themselves and to be able to catch on early so that they can really be aware and intentionally make shifts that are going to impact their lives for years to come. We focus on this with, I call this the depths of learning, okay? We read, we watch, we experience. Each of these adds a level of the impression or of the result of learning for us sort of seek. The more we are able to learn in one specific area, the deeper we're able to go, the better we do, all right? I'm not focused on a mile wide and an inch deep in this program. In this program, we really are more like 3 inches wide and a mile deep in all 3 of those. But we really dive in, and that's why this program works so well and why I love seeing the outcome of these teens in this program. What we do each week, the format of this program, we do weekly training videos that go right along with the weekly workbook. I walk them through it, different ideas, questions. There's so much fun that comes in those training videos, and I love seeing what the teens, their aha moments or their what in the world moments, or just all of these things are so fun. And then again, we practice the application, that experience. We read through the workbook, we watch through the training videos, we experience through the groups, through their classes, and through their practice, you guys, through the development of these tools and how they can use them in their lives. Each week we also focus on 4 main things. We focus on the doctrine. Jared is so good at that. My ADHD brain has a hard time jumping around from thing to thing. So Jared always he comes in and just makes sure that we're on point. That's really important to us. Faith it's a core value of our family, that relationship that we have with our Heavenly Father and with our Savior Jesus Christ. So you will find those in all of our programs. Science. God is the greatest scientist of all. I don't need to leave out the science because God's the one who gave us science. So we bring in the science. That's really important for especially for the teens, helping them understand what is normal at their stages of development, and what that can be really freeing for them to understand, like, I'm not broken. I'm actually really normal. And it gives them some grace to give themselves permission to grow into that. It's really powerful. Tools are really, really important. There's a few key tools that we go through this, and then the application. We give a ton of exercises for application. There's lots of opportunities. We talk about this as groups. We talk about different experiences that we've had. So much of that growth and that development and that confidence comes in the application. Now, I do want to put this out there because enrollment is open, but classes are going to look a little bit different for this other, you guys, I can't believe it's almost school. I'm like mind blown. But classes are going to look a little different. We're switching things up, so I don't want this to catch anybody off guard, and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can right now. For the summer and fall, we only have 3 class sections left. We're not going to be starting them like every other week. It was just a lot, and we really want to focus and make sure that we're being intentional and getting face-to-face and one-on-one time with these kids, and making sure that, you guys, we're on this side of the camera. We're building a relationship with these kids too, and we need to know their names. Their stories are really important, and they need to know that Jared and I are both really invested in this program, so we're cutting back quite a bit. The class size that we're going to settle in is about 10 to 12. That still gives us enough that if a couple of kids are gone one week, then we still have a really good discussion. But these groups, you guys, they are communities, and they grow and they learn together, and they create these relationships with each other that are really, really powerful. The bigger the group, sometimes people go under the radar. If the smaller the group, sometimes we only have 2 or 3 show up, and that can feel a little bit uncomfortable those first few weeks of opening up. So this is going to be our group size, is this 10 to 12. Another thing is we're going to break this up into 3 separate age groups this year. In the past, we've just done 2. We're going to do 3. We're going to do 11, 12, and 13-year-olds in one class. We're going to do 14 and 15-year-olds in a second class. And we're going to do 16 to 19, the 18, 19-year-olds, our seniors, in a third class. Developmentally, there's some really big shifts that happen within there, so we're trying to kind of separate those out a little bit. A really exciting thing that we're super excited to announce is we are now an ESA approved vendor in the state of Arizona, which is awesome. If you have ESA access in other states, I can send you an invoice for that. If you're private pay, don't worry. Half of our clients are. It's totally fine. So this is really awesome. Also, a couple of questions that I get. Yes, I am in Arizona. We coach online. We've coached all over the United States, okay? Wherever you are, as long as you have internet, you can climb in. We've had kids from Kansas. We've had kids in Costa Rica. We've had kids, you guys, all over the world traveling have been able to come. So wherever you are, it's online. You can come. Now, the other question I have often is about siblings. I tend to try to separate siblings into different class periods. That's very intentionally done. We've tried it with siblings together, and overwhelmingly the results that we have gotten is I didn't feel like I could open up as much if my sibling was in the class, or I wanted to answer this question, but I was really nervous that this sibling would have something to say. And that's really important because as they're able to, one of the things that we really focus on in this is separating kind of fact versus fiction, sort of speak. And interpretation is really important for that. So if there's siblings in the class, it can just feel kind of like one hand is tied behind the back. So we do try to keep siblings in different classes. We do run multiple of each class. I will only run probably about 6. If we need to get up to 8, I might do 8 classes. We'll see. But again, we are first name basis with these kids. We really want them to show up, and we really want to make sure that we're showing up for these kids in the right way. So that is my other thing. I think that is, classes are also going to be on different days. In the past, I've only coached on Tuesdays. We are going to be opening up these classes Tuesday afternoons and Wednesday mornings. So depending on where you are in the nation will depend on that time. So that'll be something that for some people, I feel like the first week, that's something we spend a lot of time with, is making sure we're in the right time zone. Depending on if I have a California student and a Kansas student and somebody who's traveling Europe for this semester, just trying to make sure that we're all on the same page for the class time. But if you have any questions, I am going to put the links above or below, depending on where you're seeing this video. And make sure you click the link, fill out the contact form. Class sizes, you guys, again, we're cutting way back. We're cutting way back to 10 to 12, and we're cutting back like groups. We're only going to offer 6, maximum of 8 per section, and we only have 3 groups left. July 16th, you guys, that's next Tuesday. It really kicks off so soon. So if you want to get in that group, snag it. If you want to get into the August group, that enrollment is also open. This is first come, first serve. So if you miss the deadline, then you either have a shot at October or you have to wait until next year. And I haven't released any of those dates yet. So if you would like to get a teen in this program, again, we've got 3 class ages, 11 to 13, 14 to 15, and 16 to 19. Please, please, please click the link above, fill out the form, send me a message. There will be a couple of things that I really need to know, like the age group, which days, if you're a public school kid and you need an afternoon class instead of a morning class, or if you're a homeschool kid and you can do a morning class. If you're just open to whatever class is available, let me know that too. That's really helpful. And we'll just get things going, you guys. I'm so excited for this program. I've loved these communities. I love these kids. Super, super excited to kick this off. So again, excited for that ESA approval. Whoop, whoop. Also, if you're private pay, come on and hang out. There's no wrong way. So just come. We're so excited to kick off and get to know these teens. And I can't wait for you guys to see that growth too, all right? I want to end with this quote from John C. Maxwell. He says, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Guys, watching your teens step into this space, it's a really intentional space, and it's a really powerful space for them, but it can be really motivating, and it can be something that not only changes our lives as parents, but also the lives of our teens. And again, guys, the intent of this program, Jared and I aren't just looking at 3 months down the road. We really are looking at helping these kids create a lifestyle and these habits and these thought patterns that are going to bless them way into the future. All right? That is something, this is a generational intent. This is a foundation for generational change and generational strength and effort. So whether you feel like your kid is really struggling, or your kid maybe just needs some help in really getting those lifestyle skills and habits down, or whether you're just curious, just reach out, fill out that form, send me a message. I'm happy to jump on a consult call. Guys, we're going to kick off here in a week. I cannot wait. I hope to see your teens in those classes.